So it's especially exciting to be opening the largest universal fast charging station in the Americas right here in Bed-Stuy. Stepping back for a second, some of you may be wondering, why is Revel, which traditionally over the last few years is known for our electric moped business, why are we taking a headfirst plunge into building out the fast charging infrastructure that cities like New York so desperately need? It's really quite simple, because the answer is from the beginning. My goal and my co-founder Paul Subi's goal has always been, how do we electrify cities? And how do we electrify cities starting with my hometown here of New York? Because there are millions of people in this city who want to choose electric transportation. They want to contribute to cleaner air. They want to contribute to the health of their communities. But those folks at the end of the day right now know that they don't have an option to choose. If you acquire an EV, there's barely any charging infrastructure in cities like New York, and it's just not a New York problem, it's any major city in the United States right now. So to bring a solution to this problem, earlier this year, we announced the next two pieces of the puzzle for Revel. 100% electric, 100% employee rideshare, which will be launching a little bit later this summer. And obviously where we are here today, our EV fast charging super hubs. And all of our different products work towards our larger mission. How do we give New Yorkers the ability to make every single trip they take in cities like New York? How do we make that trip electric? And talking more specifically about super hubs, this is an area where there's a real need for infrastructure build out. Before today, there were only 2 publicly available EV fast chargers in New York City's urban core. 2 publicly available. There are some at JFK Airport, way outside the urban core. There are some other stations where, of course, you need a specific vehicle type, or else that charger is useless to you. And there are many other stations where to even get access to that charging infrastructure, you have to pay an entrance fee or a parking fee. So we're all here today because Revel is changing the game of EV charging infrastructure in cities. We're changing that game by making it accessible to folks, we're making it universal, and we're making it central to New Yorkers where they actually live, like Bed-Stuy. So to wrap up here, we're doing this now because we know that our planet can't wait. We all know we need to drive EV adoption if cities, states, countries are actually going to meet or come close to any of their climate goals. And Revel's here to help make that happen. We are committed to making that happen. Let me tell you right now as well, this is not the last site we'll be doing a ribbon cutting here in New York over the next 12 months. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our next speaker, the United States Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm. Secretary Granholm was the Attorney General of Michigan from 1998 to 2002. She was also a 2-term governor of Michigan from 2003 to 2011, and was recently sworn in February as the U.S. Secretary of Energy. So in this role, Secretary Granholm, she is leading the Biden administration's efforts to move this country towards a clean energy future, starting with the critically important American Jobs Plan. So with that, please welcome United States Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you to Revel for allowing me to say thank you. Thank you for being an example of what we want to create all over the country, frankly, all over the world, but we've got to do our part here in the U.S. So I'm really thrilled because this example addresses one of the biggest problems we face, which is the transportation sector, which is right now the largest emitter collectively of greenhouse gas emissions. And we want to electrify it, obviously. And I say this as the former governor of Michigan, you know, this notion of electric vehicles, it's like seared in my soul, because I was governor at a time when the auto industry went bankrupt and the suppliers went bankrupt, we had to decide what were we going to do. Were we going to focus solely on the internal combustion engine, or were we going to diversify into the electric vehicle and the guts of that electric vehicle, which of course is the battery for the electric vehicle. I was selected to be Energy Secretary by Joe Biden because, like him, I see this sector of clean energy as a jobs creator. And that's why what you guys are doing to create jobs here, what you are doing to heal the planet here is so important. And it's so important because it is part of the infrastructure bill that is being negotiated right now in Congress. So I know you're all really hot. They're even hotter on the East Coast. We're seeing these collective impacts, rolling impacts of what climate change is doing to us. And this is why the investment in infrastructure that was negotiated in a bipartisan way is so important. And it includes $15 billion for the electric vehicle charging stations that we want as examples in cities, but as examples along highways to eliminate range anxiety and all of that. So we're very excited to be able to use this as an example of what we want to see all over the country. I'm excited to be here on behalf of the administration to say thank you for being so visionary about making sure that every pocket of America, including in urban areas where it may be more challenging logistically to get infrastructure in the ground. You're competing with lots of other infrastructure, but you have taken this on to say we can do it, and we can electrify it, we can make our path, we can make a leadership role out of Revel to show the country how it can be done. So on behalf of the Biden administration and on behalf of this 330 million people in America who want to see us lead again in clean energy, thank you to Revel.
Secretary, thank you again. It's such an honor to have you here today. Next up, I would like to call Councilmember Robert Cornegy. Where we are right now in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, this is the local New York City council member. This is his district. Since we were a small pilot with 60, 70 electric mopeds here in Brooklyn, Councilmember Cornegy has been an advocate of Revel, has been an advocate for good, stable, green jobs, has been an advocate for anything that gets people into electric vehicles. Councilmember Cornegy.
I have my jacket, but I'm going to forego it if you guys don't mind. So a lot of people don't know, and some may know, that I'm actually the Guinness Book of World Records former tallest politician in the world. So I just wanted to start out with that distinction. So good morning, my name is Robert E. Cornegy Jr., and I have the honor of representing Bedford-Stuyvesant and Northern Crown Heights in the New York City Council. This has been a long, dynamic part of Brooklyn. This is the neighborhood that brought you Shirley Chisholm, Spike Lee, and now the e-mobility revolution is here. We're ready to take the lead again. This charging depot is a necessary step towards giving New Yorkers the opportunity to make the switch to electric. We're ready to help reduce emissions and improve air quality across the city. I'm not surprised Bed-Stuy is taking the lead by becoming home to the largest universal fast charging depot in North America. As a representative of this community, I can say without exaggeration that I have no problem sticking out in the crowd. We live in a time of tremendous change. Some of it's inspiring, such as the new options in transportation. At the same time, we face unprecedented challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. You have no choice but to innovate and find new ways to make technological advances beneficial to everyone. For instance, as the chair of Housing and Buildings, I've introduced legislation to use drones as a tool to inspect buildings. The first building department was created in New York City in 1892, but just because it was 129 years old doesn't mean it can't adapt to new technology, and it must. This summer, I'm launching in our fourth shared economy summer. It's a chance to celebrate and promote local entrepreneurs. We're not shying away from new forms of transportation, and we are partnering with app-based transportation companies like Revel to support local mom and pop shops. The older businesses are finding new ways to pivot as technology changes. This dynamism has a long tradition in this community. We're standing at the site of the largest effort to mass produce penicillin at the time of World War II. Today's event shows that the newest technologies are again finding a way to be a good neighbor. We want to proudly welcome the new Revel Super Hub to our neighborhood. It will fit right in. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Cornegy, thanks so much. It's an honor to have you here today. Next up, I'd like to introduce the CEO of Con Edison, Tim Cawley. I would just like to say this site would not be possible without the efforts of your team, working with our team day in, day out to do one thing: to get charging infrastructure installed in this city and make it available to New Yorkers. Thanks.
So thanks so much, Frank. Appreciate the kind words. Great to join you, Councilmember Cornegy and Secretary Granholm. Your passion and your vision come through. It jumps off the page, and we are so appreciative of all of that. So how cool is this place? You sort of walk up, give it a hand round. It is so impressive. We are excited to be here to celebrate the largest universal fast charging hub for electric vehicles in North America with Revel, our partners, and our government leaders. And at Con Edison, our vision is a city whose energy is 100% clean, and one where electric vehicles are buzzing around emissions free. And this is a big step in getting us to that vision. I think if we look back 10 years from now, we will reflect on this morning and say this was a big game changer in our vault forward to electrifying transportation. To me, the Super Hub does two things primarily. For those of us who own EVs, it's a matter of convenience. We've sort of bought in, we've gotten past range anxiety, and we're players. For those who are on the fence, this will be a game changer. To think that you don't have to sort of plot out where your next charge is going to be with facilities like this will be a game changer and will create incredible penetration. The truth is, in New York City and the surrounding region, we do not have enough EV charging infrastructure. It's as simple as that. But that is going to change. We have a power-ready incentive program that was applied to this site and will be to many others, and will invest $310 million by 2025. And in terms of scale, we'll do 21,000 level 2 or slow chargers and about 540 fast chargers like the ones you see here. And that's what will be needed to get people into the EVs and out on the road. The highest level of those incentives, importantly, go to sites where the charging is built in underserved communities. In this community, there are several NYCHA properties, a hospital, and this will afford the neighborhood with cleaner, quieter energy for the transport. Really important. I see Councilmember Cornegy give that a yes, and we do at Con Edison as well. We're doing more than just incentivizing. We're coordinating with our customers. We want to be easy to do business with. From start to finish, this was less than a year from the initial thought to today, and that was during COVID. So we have a team that's eager to get after this and to help charging companies install their infrastructure. We'll play a central role in helping the area rise with EVs, and working with innovative companies like Revel will make all the difference. The future of New York's energy supply is renewable. Think about 9,000 megawatts of offshore wind, Safer down. So you think about 9,000 megawatts of offshore wind and 70% renewables by 2030. We applaud Revel getting ahead of that. The energy they've contracted for at this site is all renewable, so they're ahead of the curve and they're pushing that curve in a really wonderful way. So the future of transportation is electric in New York. We are thrilled about it at Con Edison. We're ready to help all and any to make this happen. So thanks again for being our partners. We look forward to doing it again. Be well, be safe. Thanks.
Tim, thanks again. Honored to have you here. Finally, I'd like to call up Tritium's President of the Americas, Mike Calise. For those that don't know, Tritium is the OEM for the chargers themselves. Anytime you see something done like this, a big infrastructure project, it's not done alone. Revel has partners, Con Ed. Tritium is another one of those partners that's helped us make today a reality.
Thank you so much. Wow. I am absolutely thrilled and astounded about what's come about today. back 10 years ago, I spent and congregated in a small audience in California, Northern California, with Congresswoman Jackie Spears, who frankly is one of my heroes. We laid out a plan how to decarbonize and reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and foreign oil. And I laid out a strategy for the world, frankly, on how this gets done. And how this gets done is really by deploying DC fast chargers everywhere in public locations. That was 10 years ago, almost to the month, at Earth Day in 2011. I'd like to thank my fellow speakers, Tim, Madam Secretary. I am absolutely profoundly humbled to be in your presence, as well as the presence of this great leadership at Revel. And again, I want to stress that you may not know this. This is absolutely going to be a historical moment in time, and I'm thrilled to be and play a small part of it. On behalf of the leadership at Tritium, Jane Hunter, our CEO, and David Finn and James Kennedy, our co-founders, who were thinking about this 20 years ago and the technology they delivered today in Tritium chargers. I'm profoundly humbled to represent Tritium's contribution today by delivering 25 highly reliable, working, get it going guys, RTM 75's modular scalable charging architecture. You know, about 2/3, depends, 50%, 75%, about 2/3 of people will say they will definitely love to get into an EV, but the biggest challenge is the availability of charging, and particularly public DC charging. Now with what Revel's doing, you're bringing this technology into a location that was previously unheard of. Look, we deploy DC fast chargers everywhere in the world. Tritium is a global organization. We deploy these chargers everywhere in the world, and they started between major cities, within the corridors of those major cities, so that people can make a decision to drive long distance, and that is the start. But we always had the vision that you need to bring these chargers down to the highest density populations in the highest urban locations in the world, because guess what? That's where people live. That's where people thrive. And New York City is an amazing example of where to put these stations. And frankly, I'm very proud of my roots, being born in Brooklyn, Williamsburg boy. I will mention my father was Metropolitan Avenue, and it just is such a calling to have this happen right here, right now. And it's a testament to the thinkers. It's a testament to Revel's innovation. I can tell you, it's a testament to the entrepreneurship, and it's a testament to Con Ed, frankly. So Tim, what you've done, you know how difficult this is to get done. It's impossible to get done, to Frank's point, without Con Ed and without a utilities involvement. And now I am so proud, as a proud Republican, and I won't be political, who voted Biden in that administration, because this administration knows what it takes to get these chargers back into the ground and get us off fossil fuel emissions, get us into a mitigation of climate change, and to frankly put quiet, electric, wonderful performance in the hands of everyday drivers. And that also includes fleets. So with that, I'm thrilled to just say, whatever it takes, Tritium is there to do it. And if it's not Brooklyn, and it will be soon other locations, we're here to support that endeavor. We're here to support this administration. We're here to support all the utilities throughout the United States in a global mission to pull together what's required by our global allies. This is bigger than one might think, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. And with that, I say thank you so much to everybody. And guess what, baby? We are back. We are back with a vengeance. And I'm happy to say, look, that's these guys. Thank you so much.
How do I not have blue Revel sunglasses? Where did that fall through on my team? So thanks so much, everyone. I just want to conclude, thank you to all the speakers, Secretary Granholm, Mike Calise, Tim Cawley, Councilmember Cornegy, a few other folks, just the Con Edison EV Energy Service team. the Tritium team. Jeff Rosenblum, who is the landlord here, has been instrumental. Again, you talk about partners. You need everyone pitching in to make a site like this work. So just one last note, Secretary Granholm, after the conclusion of the ribbon cutting, will be available for interviews on the other side of these chargers here. Every other speaker will also be available for interviews as well for all the press that are here. So thanks everyone, let's open this thing.
Everyone back up a tiny bit.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
This is like blowing out the candles. You only get one shot.
Put a hand on it.
Yeah, we'll all get a hand on that.
Yeah, everybody get a hand on it.
Frank, you want to count us down?
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, like and share to help our channel grow. And below you'll find links to our website, evolv-electric.org, our Twitter and Instagram